Hi, this is tutorial number 3 of the Ecotect tutorials. This time I'm going to try and just introduce you to the basic Ecotect interface as just before going into modeling. Okay, let's start. When you start Ecotect, it usually starts with this kind of 3D environment, which is I usually describe as being very similar to SketchUp. Okay, let's quickly go through the interface. At the left corner there, you find 5 distinct tabs. The first one is Project, and as you can see, this is where you set up your file. So you can add a project title, basic description if you want, job reference, and such. None of these affect your project much. It's just for you to keep track of what you do. What is important is this part. This is where you specify the latitude and longitude and location, north arrow, and such. Okay, I'll describe this in detail later when we start setting up the project, but that's the first step. So it's good to keep track. The 3D editor. 3D editor is like a 3D interface. Again, it's similar to SketchUp if you're familiar with that. Has a north arrow. It changes if you know it changes the north direction. But it kind of gives you this 3D canvas to start working on. We will be doing most of our work in 3D editing. This is where you create your project and edit the model and do the analysis, and so most of the work is done here. The visualize is a similar 3D environment, however, it doesn't allow you to do anything except see what you've modeled, right? So it's, as its name indicates, it's just a visualize tab. Okay, analysis is where all the analysis happens, especially the numerical analysis. Right now it's empty. See, it has so many tabs down there. It's empty right now, but once you start, modeling and analyzing, it will get populated. And finally, whenever we ask Ecotect to generate a report, it comes in here. Right now, because you've not done anything yet, it has a default Ecotect help. Right? At the top here, you find the regular Windows, menu, file, edit, view, draw, select, modify, model. We'll go in all of these in detail later. I usually don't like to, bore you with all the menus until you get to it. And then finally, on the top here, you have also icons that do similar things. The regular open file icon, save, when you have print if you want to, new model, and such. You can specify the date. When you do the analysis, you will want to specify the date and time through these drop-down menus here, and then through this Earth icon, you will load the weather file, the climatic data. The next toolbar here is the Snap toolbar, which is all related to the modeling. The next row here, you'll find several icons that are very similar to any other CAD software. So move, rotate, scale, mirror, extrude, and such, like extend and trim, fillet. Okay, so just tools very similar to CAD tools, link and unlink and such. The same tools are here, which is a bit strange, and sometimes I usually kind of close this tab, but in Ecotect you find in a lot of cases that there are duplicates of the same tools, or there are so many ways for doing the same thing. But I guess that's common in many other software as well, if you're familiar with CAD. Anyway, just to wrap it up, on the right side here you have what I call tools, right? So First one is this arrow, and it presents the selection information. I have nothing there right now, but if I quickly start modeling something, okay, whenever I have something selected, the selection information comes up here. So in this case, it tells me this is a line, gives me some information about the axes and links if there are any, and things like that. Right. Next one is called zones, right? The zone management tools. Now, zones, for now, assume that zones are like layers in any other CAD software. It's not exactly that, but we can assume they are. So by default, there is an outside zone, right? And I can also create new zones and things like that, right? So, and then you can switch them off and on and lock them. Right? So for now, just consider the zones are similar to layers. Of course, it's not only that, but we'll get back to it later. We have material assignments. We'll get to that. We have the display settings. We change the way you display your model and grid and such. Visualization settings. Again, related to the visualize tab, right? How you see your model. And then you get into some analysis tabs, like the shadow settings. Display the shadow if there is an object that displays shadows. Analysis grid, rays and particles. Okay. So anyway, again, I don't want to bore you with all these now, but we will find out later when you start using the software what each of them of these do. Finally, I just want to show you how you change the point of view, right? Since you cannot see my mouse, let me just explain. Using the right click, not the left click, if you click on the right mouse button and move your mouse, it orbits around, right? So this is how I orbit. If I let go, if I don't click it, nothing happens. I just hold the mouse. But if I hold it, I orbit around the button. The left mouse button, if I hold it and drag, it creates a selection window, right? Just like an AutoCAD has, the right selection window and left selection window. Using my mouse wheel, I can zoom in and out. Okay? And then if I hold the mouse wheel, I can tap. Okay? So these are the basic commands. Now there are some keyboard shortcuts for the views, which I would like to mention before wrapping this up. By default, we start in this 3D view, but I can switch quickly to a plan view by clicking F5 on my keyboard. So this gives me a plan view. F6 gives me a front view, which of course doesn't show anything because nothing is in 3D right now. F7 is the side view. If I click on F8, it's probably contradicting with the camera. Anyway, if I go to F8, it's usually the shortcut for it. It goes back to the So anyway, so this was just a basic entry into Ecotect interface. So till next time.